It's all right. You're good. Just go ahead and hold on to the X's in front of you, and then just pull the knees up. If you came out of the X Factor, that's okay. I just wanted to point forward. We're going to just hold on to the leg loops and pull the knees up. So we're swaying back and forth in the space, but we're just incorporating a little bit more core strengthening. You got it? Yeah. So I'm holding on to the top of the leg loops. We could also hold on to the handholds. And we're just pulling the knees up and letting ourselves sway. Warming up the core. Awesome. So let's go ahead and play with the leg loops in the other position. I'm going to just let the leg loops connect and be parallel to one another. So you just drop one edge down. You don't even have to take them off completely. Okay, so just watch for a second, Barbara. So you can just drop the leg loops down and then thread them over. So you don't even have to unhook them to do this part. Okay? So that's how we can make a really easy transition. So we stay with the swing behind us, and then we can just go ahead and measure it out and make sure it's at a good height for us. I brought mine down one so that the knees are level with the chest but not higher than the chest. So you might need to bring the leg loops down one of the notches on the daisy chains to make them a little bit lower. Cool. Yeah, if the knees are too high, it'll just be harder. Not that big of a deal, it'll just be harder. Yeah, just bring them down one if you can. If you run out of notches on your daisy chains, if you can't bring them down, it's okay. It'll be fine, but it's good to just have them a little bit lower, especially when we're experimenting with something new. So you were asking about doing some quad stretches while you're in this position. And so let's just experiment with what that would look like. Okay, so let's go ahead and press the legs straight and let our hips hang. So both feet are together and the swing and the leg loops are still together. We haven't separated them yet. And this is just an experiment, right? We get together and we make some stuff up and it feels good, we do it again. And if it doesn't, then we'll come up with something else. We just play in the space like that. Okay, so we're going to keep both leg loops together. We're going to take our left leg out and we're going to put it on the floor. So we have one leg on the floor, one leg in both leg loops, one ankle hooked. Okay. So let's go ahead and turn the knee over and come out to the side and see if we can come into our quad stretch like this. Yeah. So this is a nice way to transition. You just have to flex your foot back a lot so it doesn't go boinging out to the sides. And then we're turning our body so we're in a side stretch, right? So instead of the foot being in front, we have it to the side, out to on an angle. Okay, good. So that's one way to come into a quad stretch, and we've done the one-legged stretches before. So I would probably just come into the one-legged stretches to stretch out the quad with the leg loops together. I hadn't thought of it last week, but just see if you can start to pull the torso over the front knee, and just notice how that deepens the stretch. That's really nice. Nice. Really good. And then when we want to come back, we're going to gently pull the knee into the chest, transition, and why don't we go ahead and come right into the floating pigeon. So now my foot can come to the front of the mat again. Left foot to the front of the mat, right knee bending out to the side, and we just hang. Cool. So let's go ahead and just straighten that leg out and sway it in the space from side to side as well. If the arms bother you, come into a back bend. You can do the stretches with both legs straight. You can also come into a forearm press. But you're going to have to be strongly engaged through the arms with the swing. And then let's come back through center and switch sides. So pause and neutralize with both hips hanging down. You can always just rock the hips a little. It feels good. And then go ahead and take the right foot out. Bring it to the ground. So first we open up the hamstring. Then when we bend the left knee and we turn the foot over, we have to walk the foot out to the side. So we kind of hop it into position. Get my swing in front of the leg loop. And then drop the knee down. I flex the foot so that the leg loop doesn't come bouncing off. Right? And then I can drop the hips. Does that feel good? So I want to pull my chest over my front knee to deepen the stretch. So I'm incorporating a little bit more of a twist to come into the side angle. Yes. Yep. Exactly. And then try straightening the front leg. It'll go a little bit deeper into the quad stretch as well. And then to come out of it, I start to bring my chest forward, bend the knee, just open it up into a pigeon, walk my right foot forward again. So we just have to change the foot position to really do that smoothly. So in this position, we can go ahead and push the left knee down towards the ground. Get the deeper hip stretch. And we can also pull the leg loop in towards the body. So I'm using my right hand to pull in the leg loop. Both leg loops are together. Good. And I like to just rock in the space. It feels better to use that momentum. And then I'm going to open it up. So let the legs slide out to the side, just swaying in the space. And then I can also do this with straight legs, so I could come into a slight back bend if it's bothering the underarms and do the same movement. And when we're just undulating from side to side, we're lubricating the hip joint, so there's not a whole lot of effort. It's more just to get the spaciousness and the length through the leg with the rotation in the hip at the same time. So when we do the lengthening and the rotation without weight bearing, it's really good to lubricate the joints. Alrighty, let's go ahead and come back through center, and since we're here, I like to switch to the arches of the feet for this one. So first come into Baddha Konasana. And you'll see it's slid onto the tops of the feet nicely. Go ahead and Oh, good. We'll do that next. That sounds good. I just wanted to do a little bit. Yeah, let's try that next. So thank you for that invitation. So we're going to do Baddha Konasana in 2 ways. So we first just come into the diamond legs and the diamond arms. Just hang out here. Let the knees just splay open. Heart is opening, hips are opening, the whole front of the body feels supported and open. Okay, so now we're going to open up our arms, hold on to the swing, press the legs forward, so keep the leg loops on the arches. And I wanted to come through a ladle position and just do a couple rowing motions here. So just try rowing the boat, which is sliding your arms up, coming into a core crunch, and then extending on the way down. So I inhale down and then I exhale, come up and crunch. And just do about 10 of those. Activate the core. The slower you go, the more challenging it is. But just see what feels good today. And it's just so nice to fully extend into ladle position when you come down. Even if it's just for a mini pause, stretch the belly, and then use the core, crunch, and come up. So use the belly to lift you instead of cranking the neck, and using the head, which is really common. When people think that they're doing core strengthening, they're typically just straining their neck. All right, very good. Isn't that fun? Let's come back to our Baddha Konasana, but let's try what you suggested. And we're going to put one leg on top of the other. Yeah, very nice. Lots of heat, yes. So we can spread the leg loops out a little bit and hook the ankles on this one, so the feet feel really supported. So from the arches, across the ankles, across the heels, and onto the Achilles, I spread the leg loops out a little bit. All right, let's reach up as high as we can. Try to see if you can grab the top of the leg loops. Push your hips up, lean back, flying monkey. Stretch the front of the neck. Open up the front of the shoulders, the chest. Then inhale, let's do 5 bicep curls. So we're going to inhale, pull ourselves up. Exhale, lower back, nice and slow and controlled. And strengthen the arms. The hips are going to press into the X the whole time. Just get a little bit of arm strengthening going. It'll prepare us to do some of the acrobatic moves down the line as we gain in our strength and confidence, as well as balance. Good. And now we have to keep our arms around the swing, but thread them in front of the leg loops. So make sure that there is a swing around your arms, and then the leg loops are behind you. So there's a whole lot going on in the front of the hips, but just get it into a good position. We first come through skydiver. We bank a little bit from side to side. It feels really good. We're moving into flying butterfly. So when we bend the elbows and then just let the heart sink down towards the ground, the head relaxed, see if you can keep pushing the hips open, because in this position the legs will tend to flop a little bit, so spread the knees apart from one another. Keep that engagement. And then slowly release the swing altogether. Straighten one arm and then the other. Bring your hands to the ground. And then you can be fully suspended. So you're going to get this big stretch through the inner groin where the leg loops are sitting on the tops of the thighs and wrapping around. So the more that you can keep your knees apart and open, the better. With the leg loops in a little bit closer, there tends to be a collapse there. Another nice stretch is pushing your hands into your upper thighs and straightening your arms, which will help you straighten the torso. And then tiny, tiny little shifts from side to side, little micro movements to start to loosen up the hips. The whole lumbar starts to release, and just consider getting a millimeter of space in between the vertebrae. Just the tiniest release will be huge for the impact on the nervous system and the energetic flow down the spine. Beautiful, guys. Okie dokie. Hands come back down to the ground. We just relax here. See if you can let your forearms sink down, so no weight in the arms at all. And then see what it's like to press one arm straight and come into a little bit of a side stretch. The other arm straight. Just play a little bit while we're down here. Maybe you want to come into a handstand. Instead of coming to a handstand, you press the knees up towards the sky and balance. Your hands have to be right underneath your shoulders to do that.